Hello viewers, apnan sobke swagat kori ase NLTV Big Breaking te. Ita Big Breaking ekta khobor janai dibili mon thakato Nagaland Legislative Assembly pra tan laga 10th session te 5 points resolution adopt korise Monday din te. Itu resolution laga bitorte NLA pra December 4 aro 5 te voting tirute hatsa hua laga opor condemn korise. House pra mafi mang korise aro kun manu itu hatsate shamil thakise taikan ke kanun hisab te saza dibi koise. House pra Mon district laga manu khan civil societies Pradesh laga manu aro kishim organizations kan ke sarkar logote mili kena justice mang kuribi koise. Aro sop laga bhal nimite shanti rakhibi koise. Naga political issue opor naga manu khan pra solution nimite akha kuri thakato side dibo lage aro itu nimite house pra Indo Naga political dialogue to settlement ekta te ahi kena logical conclusion te ahibi koi kena bindi kurise. NLA pra mili kena central sarkar ke Afspa to north east aro khas kuri kena Nagaland pra hata bole mang kurise koise. Itu opor NLA te Pradesh laga sarkar pra voting hatsate mura manukan laga gor manuke grade 3 aro grade 4 kam dibo koise. Aro jokumpa manukan laga dawai pani laga kharcha opor bi sai dibo koise. Icha live te join kura manukan nimite aro itu khobor ekbar janai di ase. Nagaland Legislative Assembly laga 10th session te 5-point resolution adopt korise Monday din. Itu resolution laga bitorte NLA pra December 4 aro 5 te voting tirute hatsa hua laga opor condemn korise. House pra mafi mang korise aro kun manu itu hatsate shamil thakise taikan ke kanun hisab te saza dibi koise. House pra Mon district laga manu khan civil societies Pradesh laga manu aro kishim organizations kan ke sarkar lokote mili kena justice mang kuribi koise. Aro sop laga bal nimite shanti rakhibi koise. Naga political issue opor naga manu khan pra solution nimite akha kuri thakato side dibo lage aro itu nimite house pra Indo Naga political dialogue to settlement ekta te ahi kena logical conclusion te ahibi koi kena binti koise. NLA pra mili kena central sarkar ke Afspa to north east aro khas kuri kena Nagaland pra hata bole mang kuribo koise. Itu opor NLA te Pradesh laga sarkar pra voting hatsate mura manu laga gor manu ke grade 3 aro grade 4 kam dibo koise. Aro jokumpa manu khan laga dawai pani laga kharcha opor bi sai dibo koise.
Stronger terms that we do not want Nagaland to be declared as disturbed area anymore. Let us pass a strong resolution to this effect. Perhaps the horrible mistake committed by the security forces in 13th area recently while operating under the cover of Afspa will soften their stand and convince them on the need for repealing Afspa. The House appealed to the citizens of one district and its civil society to extend cooperation to the government and its agencies in our collective efforts to restore normalcy in the interest of all the citizens. The House appreciates and supports the demand of the civil societies for their demand for justice. So I condole the death and wish a speedy recovery of the injured person, and we all share the griefs of the bereaved families. I also condemn the killing of 14 innocent civilians in 13th area in Mon district and causing serious injuries to many more. The people have been voicing out for peace and crying for early political solution. It is paramount that the people's voice and cry is heard and implemented as early as possible. The House may once again appeal to the negotiating parties of the Indo Naga political dialogue to bring the talks to its logical conclusion by reaching a settlement that is honorable, inclusive, and democratic at the earliest. Let us hope that the recent death of 14 innocent Naga civilians at the hands of army will not go in vain. I also hope and pray that such ugly incidents do not recur again, God forbid. In the stronger terms that we do not want Nagaland to be declared as disturbed area anymore, let us pass a strong resolution to this effect. Perhaps the horrible mistake committed by the security forces in 13th Nla area recently, while operating under the cover of Afspa, will soften their stand and convince them on the need for repealing Afspa. The House appealed to the citizens of one district and its civil society to extend cooperation to the government and its agencies in our collective efforts to restore normalcy in the interest of all the citizens. The House appreciates and supports the demand of the civil societies for their demand for justice. So I condole the death.
Nagaland Legislative Assembly pra 5টা resolution pass kura oporte hi phal pra jankari lobole karan ami kan laga senior content producer Dipendu Chakraborty logot phone pra bachit kuribo aru itu oporte ami kan laga janta karke iman phal pra jankari tai pra dibo. Hello Dipend sir, can you hear me? Hello Dipend sir, are you with me?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Yasin, as we have just disclosed in this breaking bulletin that the Nagaland Legislative Assembly has taken a 5-point resolution during a special session that took place today. And as you know, the main highlight of this whole 5-point resolution is definitely the point number 1 that they have taken as a resolution that the Nagaland Legislative Assembly have unanimously resolved to demand the Government of India to repeal the Armed Forces Special Powers Act 1958 from Northeast and specifically from Nagaland. As you know, this act has been always a subject of controversy. If you look at the history, that apart from Jammu Kashmir and Northeastern state, Afspa is not in effect. So whatever extra privilege that the Indian Armed Force gets in these disturbed areas, as you know that Afspa is applicable or in effect in Northeast, and specifically these areas are called disturbed areas, and that is the same cause or reason that Afspa, after every 6 months, the government issues a new notification and it extends the tenure of Afspa, and it hasn't been removed or withdrawn from the northeastern states instead of repeated appeals from the government and the tribal bodies and social organizations, and especially the recent killings that took place in Oting village on December 4th, that once again has the demand has again once again grown to remove Afspa or repeal Afspa from northeastern states. And this time the government has taken a resolution that they will demand the Government of India to repeal and withdraw the controversial act. And as it's a very controversial act, and as the move has came amid growing demands to conduct a special assembly session, and this step has been taken following widespread protests and demands by many organizations, tribal groups, student bodies. As we have seen, in the recent past, most of the student federations, civil bodies, societies, they have continuously took to the streets. They have taken up march, candle march, protest rallies, and they have constantly demanded that Afspa should be removed from the northeastern states. So today it's a very significant move that has been taken by the government of Nagaland in this special session. And so finally the demand has been placed before the government of India from the government side. We have to also mention that earlier Nefurio already he said that Afspa has tarnished the image of India and should be removed. And interestingly, Meghalaya Chief Minister Conran Sangma also called for repeal of Afspa if a few days ago when voting massacre took place, and it shook the entire nation. And the controversial Afspa is, it says that it has been enacted to assist state governments which were incapable to maintain internal disturbance. However, as the Afspa grants the armed forces extraordinary powers and legal immunity to bring back order in areas as disturbed by the government. However, the government has claimed, Nagaland government has said that since most of the insurgent organizations like NSNIM and other factions are currently under ceasefire. So over the last few years, the scenario that was earlier prevailing in Nagaland is not that, and then after the ceasefire has came into effect, the Nagaland cannot be called a disturbed area now, and so that's why the present scenario, the current situation, doesn't demand Afspa in the state of Nagaland. So that's why they have, vehemently they have also condemned during this session today. They have condemned the killing of the voting that took place, and that 21 para special forces act that their act is they have condemned the act, and almost 35 people are injured during this incident. Already we know that 14 people were died during that shooting. So the House has unanimously taken a resolution that government should take a step to remove or withdraw the controversial Armed Forces Special Powers Act, and now it will be very interesting on the part of government of India to take action. As we know that government of India is an ally of the BJP, is an ally of the Repeal coalition, in the state of Nagaland. So it will be interesting to see what the Union Home Minister Amit Shah and Prime Minister Narendra Modi takes into consideration or not. But as it is very clear that Nagaland, the whole state of Nagaland, the people of Nagaland, who are they want peace, they want the Naga peace process to be on track. They are calling that Afspa should be removed. And interestingly, the Naga peace process or the Naga peace talks, which derailed in last few years, as we know that interlocutor has been appointed A.K. Mishra after R.N. Ravi's departure from Nagaland, who earlier used to be the interlocutor between the insurgent faction and the government of India. He took charge as the governor of Nagaland, but now since his departure, A.K. Mishra, in the month of October, he had several meetings with the NSNIM factions and some other insurgent faction also, but as of now, nothing has been materialized, and the whole peace process that has been, much delayed is derailed, and the recent killings of the civilians, the Cognacs in voting, might have, once again, pushed back the whole peace process. So it's very important and very interesting to see what the government of India steps will take now, and it will be interesting to see because the resolution also has specifically said that if
Yes, sir. I would like to move on to
whole Naga
next
peace
question,
process into back foot.
Sir.
So that will be very interesting to see now how the government of India responds. But once again, we'd like to tell our viewers that during today's special session, the 10th session of the 13th Nagaland Legislative Assembly, the resolution has been passed, a 5-point resolution, which I'm sure you have already informed our viewers. But the main highlight of this 5-point resolution is that the Nagaland Legislative Assembly unanimously held resolve to demand that the government of India to repeal the Armed Forces Special Power Act 1958, specifically from the state of Nagaland, along with the entire Northeast Assam.
As you have focused on the voting Tiru incident, and as the Nagaland Legislative Assembly passed their 5-point resolution, we can see that it's all about Afspa and it's all about this incident. Well, with this, our senior content producer have explained on the details of the 5-point resolution, and with this, I would like to read the news once again. The Nagaland Legislative Assembly pra 10th session te 5-point resolution adopt kurise Monday din. Ito resolution laga bitorte NLA pra December 4 aro 5 te voting tirute hatsa hua laga opor condemn kurise. House pra mafi mang kurise aro kun manu itu hatsa te shamil thakise taikan ke kanun hisab te saza dibi koise. House pra Mon district la manu kan civil societies pradesh laga manu aro kishim organizations kan ke sokar lokote milikena justice mang kuribi koise. Aro sop laga bal nimite shanti rakhibi khoise naga political issue opor naga manukhan pra solution nimite akha kuri thakato side dibo lage aru itu nimite house pra indo naga political dialogue to settlement act ate ahikena logical conclusion te ahi bi koikna binti korise NLA pra milikena central sarkar ke afspa to north east aro khas kurikena Nagaland pra hata bole mang kuribo koise itu opor NLA te pradesh laga sarkar pra voting hatsate mura manukhan laga gor manuke grade 3 aro grade 4 kam dibo koise aro jokom pa manukhan laga dawai pani laga kharcha opor bi side dibo koise Assembly unanimously demand krise government of India ke afspa 1958 Nagaland pra hatai dibole. Well, in the next demand, we can see that they have repealed for afspa 1958 from northeastern states as well. Arotan pra next year arobe withdrawal of afspa to strengthen Naga political peace talk opor uthabole nimite afspa to Nagaland pra ki holibi atai dibole mang khorise Assembly pra aji 5-point resolution adopt kuri kena tiru aro voting te ki hatsa hoise itu laga opor te afspa hatai dibole mang khorise Point ektate NLA pra voting tiru hatsate manuke morai dia opor iman biar pra condemn kurise So aji nimite big breaking te itu khobor thakibo Nagaland TV pra notun updates aro information te loi thakibo till then take care and have a nice day
Do you dream to become a reporter?
Or want to be a news